A very good evening, everyone. It again gives me immense pleasure to welcome you all for I would say, another exciting episode in the continuation of the series of Women's Day. As I said day before yesterday, I would again repeat it that a woman with a voice, by definition, means a strong woman. Definitely quoted by Linda Gates. I would say that we have few of them today here who are going to discuss about, I think, everything, right, from the physical, mental health issues and everything what it comes along with what it does and what it needs to be a woman. So without wasting much of time, I would like to introduce all of them. To start with, we have Dr. Lily Rodrigues. She is a consultant physician. She is the chairman of Telangana Society, RSSDI. Good evening, ma'am. We have Dr. Shalini Jaggi, consultant diabetologist from New Delhi. Happy Women's Day and good evening.
Thank you.
We have Dr. Usha Sriram from Chennai. She's a consultant endocrinologist. Happy Women's Day and a very good evening, ma'am.
Thank you. You too. Thank you.
Pleasure. We have Dr. Anjali Bhatt from Pune. She's again a consultant endocrinologist. Very good evening and a happy Women's Day and a week, I would say. We have Dr. Beena Bansal from Haryana. Very good evening, ma'am, and a happy Women's Day and a happy Women's Week. So without taking much of time, I would hand it over to Dr. Shalini to take it from here.
Thank you so much, Dr. Faraz, for that warm welcome to all the ladies here. And as everybody would know, the RSSDI has been actively engaging all the women folk. We now have an RSSDI Diabetes and Women Task Force, of which 5 of us are the members. And through this task force, we need to carry on the message of looking after a woman's health, not only in terms of the disease treatment or disease management, but prevention and creating an awareness for the importance of a woman's health. And when I say a woman, it means anybody, right from a little girl to somebody who's postmenopausal, who's an elderly lady. There are a lot of aspects that we need to discuss about the woman's health. And this involves physical health, emotional health, mental health, social health, and all the different issues that we keep talking of. So, when we talk of women's health, people usually feel it is just that the woman needs, if she has a disease, she needs to see a doctor, get a prescription. Once she's treated, that's about it. No, I think there's so much to a woman's health. And like Michelle Obama said, different countries, different nations, the health of a nation is defined by the health of its woman. Because ultimately, it's the woman who carries the weight of the entire world on her shoulders. And that is why a healthy woman leads to a healthy family, leading to a healthy city and a healthy nation and a healthy society. So, with that kind of an introduction, the task force has some eminent women who are working in their areas as a joint effort. We are going to put in a lot of projects that are going to be rolled out to improve the health of a woman living with diabetes, because there are so many challenges. And we talk of diabetes, I think this is one of the NCDs. And when it comes to the NCDs, obesity is again a problem. We've all been through lockdowns. COVID has changed the way things are. And one thing that the lockdowns and the COVID pandemic has done is brought the issue of weight gain and diabetes right to the forefront. So with that, let me just have Dr. Beena coming in to tell us how important is weight gain right from the time a child is born, and then what are the problems that you can face and what do you need to do about obesity?
Thank you, Shalini, for having me here. We are starting with obesity. So that's, I think this word is a very heavy word in itself for many different reasons, because how it is conceived by people. And it's one of the important women health issues because it brings to forefront all the psychosocial issues which are associated with women's health. So you said starting from birth, actually that is where we need to start the discussion, because obesity as a disease starts much before a child is born. There are a lot of genetic factors. We know that children who have obese parents are more likely to be obese, and then weight loss becomes much more difficult. During gestation, during pregnancy, during fetal life, lot of factors influence what the child's weight would be in future. So these genetic and epigenetic factors program the child for the way fat would be deposited inside the body, है ना? I think अगर हिंदी में बोलना है, if it is for general public, वजन हम बहुत obesity and weight और वजन हम we all keep thinking of it in terms of individual. हम सोचते हैं कि ये फीमेल अगर वजन इसका ज्यादा है, it must be क्योंकि खाना ज्यादा खाते हैं, एक्सरसाइज नहीं करते हैं, and that is what everyone tells, है ना? आपके पास भी कोई वजन के लिए आता है, डॉक्टर्स के पास भी आते हैं. um, Women are somehow stigmatized more than men when they walk in a clinic. वो जोड़ों के दर्द के पास डॉक्टर के पास गए तो जोड़ से पहले डॉक्टर बोलेगा वजन कितना ज्यादा है, उसे कम करिए, एज इफ उसके कंट्रोल में है उसे कम करना, है ना? और ये प्रॉब्लम बढ़ गई है अभी 2 साल लॉकडाउन में. पीपल हु हैव बीन वर्किंग फ्रॉम होम, स्पेशली वर्किंग वुमेन हु हैव बीन मैनेजिंग देयर हाउस होल्ड एंड देयर जॉब, लोग 10-10 12-12 घंटे कंप्यूटर के सामने बैठे होते हैं, एंड रेस्ट ऑफ द टाइम दे हैव टू जगल बिटवीन देयर चाइल्ड्स स्कूल का काम, घर का खाना बनाना है, दे हैव टू मैनेज ऑल अदर मिलियंस ऑफ थिंग्स इन दैट 24 आवर्स. और हम फिर उनको कहते हैं कि आप तो अपना ध्यान ही नहीं देते, वजन ही नहीं कम करके आ रहे हैं, है ना? खाने का ध्यान नहीं दे रहे, एक्सरसाइज नहीं कर रहे. सो इट इज नॉट एन इंडिविजुअल इशू. एज आई सेड, थिंग्स स्टार्ट बिफोर हैंड. एक तो हमारी प्रोग्रामिंग, हमें जो मिल गया है, हम प्रोग्राम्ड से आए हैं. ऊपर से देर आर सो मेनी सोशल इकोनॉमिकल फैक्टर्स, है ना? पहले अब things are that most women are working double. They are working at home and they are working at their workplace. So उनके लिए और भी challenging हो जाता है. Moreover, they are the ones who take care of everything else in the family. So there is all of these things. So we have to always look at obesity as something which is influenced by everything around us. When I say this, I don't mean to say कि हम बेचारे victims बन के रह जाएं and we don't do anything about it. है ना? So we are not the villains as one is portrayed. If someone is gaining weight, they cannot be held responsible completely for that. But they if they do not take agency in their hand, और वो सिर्फ ये सोचे कि मेरे हाथ में कुछ नहीं है तो भी problem है. So there is something in between. We have to take charge of our health, and despite all these many psychosocial factors, I think it's important for us to understand that we still have choices which we can make, which can influence our health. हम खाने में क्या खा रहे हैं, whether we are making the right food choices, whether we are designing the house so that the choices become easy to make, and whether we are uh, taking ourselves
Absolutely.
first. We are putting us in priority before we put everyone else. That is something which every woman needs to be taught. They have to untrain themselves from just caring for others. Care is again a very
Yes.
difficult thing to do and a difficult word, and it's automatically imposed on the woman of the house. I'll stop there because it's a huge session, and I think that is where I'll end and hand it back over to you all.
आई थिंक ये बहुत जरूरी है जानना कि ओबेसिटी या मोटापा सिर्फ खाने की वजह से नहीं होता है. बहुत सारे फैक्टर्स होते हैं जिसमें एक बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट फैक्टर होता है हमारी मेंटल हेल्थ. क्योंकि आजकल मेंटल हेल्थ को बहुत इंपॉर्टेंस हम दे रहे हैं, बिकॉज अब हमें समझ में आता है कि अगर मेंटल हेल्थ डिस्टर्ब्ड है तो ऑब्वियसली बहुत सारी और प्रॉब्लम्स हो सकती हैं. सो रोपिंग यू डॉक्टर लिली, what do you feel the mental health issues that a woman has? Why were we not addressing this now, and what more can we do about it? How does it impact a woman's health, and why do we need to seek help? What are the signs and symptoms you need to identify when it comes to mental health, when you need to seek help?
Thank you, Shalini. First of all, mental health, and first of all, a woman's health was not considered as a special or separate one. Am I audible?
Yes, you are.
Yeah. We have now come to an understanding that we have now definitely we are moving towards women's health, and this is our task is to consider a woman as very, very important in the healthcare system. And then we are here to, if you ask me about mental health of a woman, the woman is definitely undergoing a lot of mental health issues, be it at home, be it at workplace, or be it in the school as a girl child or an adolescent growing up to be a woman. So every stage, a woman goes through a lot of different mental issues, and they are definitely very important, and we need to consider them in our day-to-day life. And also घर के लोग भी उसको ध्यान देना है, और चाइल्ड का, गर्ल चाइल्ड का इश्यूज क्या है, उसको मेंस्ट्रुएशन और उसके बाद में वो कैसे उसका मेंटली वो कैसे इफेक्ट होती है, वो उसका क्या बोलते हैं उसको, मेंस्ट्रुएशन होने के बाद उसका लाइफ में क्या चेंजेस होते हैं, ये सब घर के लोग भी ध्यान देना है, केवल मदर नहीं है, उसका पिताजी भी, उसके भाई बहन भी, सब लोग उसको उसमें ध्यान देना है. So I think that's a very important aspect. The mental health cannot be ignored, and it has to be looked into, and it has to be considered as one of the important factors in the overall health.
Yes, yes. Dr. Anjali, यहाँ पे I would like to bring you in, because when it comes to all these health issues, I think what is more important is to make the little girl aware of the importance of weight management, prevention of NCDs. So the awareness actually has to start much earlier, probably in schools, probably in colleges. So as an adolescent, what do you think are pertinent points that we need to talk about to all the little girls who are growing in? And not only the girls, but the entire society.
Absolutely. It's a wonderful program that we are doing, and in itself highlights how important it is to be aware, and aware in a right way. Because we are talking about the word awareness, which has to be taken in a totally different context from information. Because I'll tell you that information is available at wrong places, in wrong manner, at wrong platforms, and they are more attractive than the wiser adults, parents, doctors, and probably the right scientific people from where the advice should come. So first of all, I'm so happy that we are conducting this, so that there is a platform which is providing the correct information through right channel and from proper people. So I think this is the first most important thing from the awareness point of view, because now everybody, as young as 10-year-olds, have an access to internet and all the information without any filter of what and the way they can understand the things.
Very
Right?
important.
I have an 8-year-old daughter. I'll tell you the things that she knows. My job is to tell you that what you know is not right, rather than telling her what is right. So there is so much that we need to do in these young people.
Absolutely. I think a very good message that Dr. Anjali has given to all of us is internet पे information बहुत सारी है, social media पे information बहुत सारी है, but whether that information is authentic or not is something that we really need to filter.
Absolutely.
And
so information is endless. We'll not talk about that right now. Just have to make sure that the information is authentic is a one-liner that I would like to say.
Absolutely. Very important line that is. Dr. Usha, ma'am, bringing you in. I mean, we've always been talking about when it comes to a woman, I think people start focusing only on pregnancy. Pregnancy is the time that you have to look after her. She has to take care of her. We have issues like gestational diabetes, which is diabetes that comes in pregnancy. During that time, a woman is still receptive, and then, everything goes haywire, and she ultimately turns into a diabetic. And this is one area. Today, we are celebrating GDM Awareness Day. It's the birthday of Dr. Seshna, who's the founder of Dipsy. And, we've created so much awareness on gestational diabetes. Do you think pregnancy is the only time that we need to focus on a woman's health?
Thank you, Shalini. And I also want to echo the words of Anjali that this is a great thing that we are doing. But this question of, I have an allergy today, which is why I keep scratching my face. The question that you asked me, that is pregnancy the only time? Obviously, the answer is no. I mean, it's an important time, but what leads to the pregnancy, what follows the pregnancy are equally important, and I'll tell you why. Because now, see, in the past, let's say my grandmother's time or even my mother's time, women were much younger when they got pregnant. And the kind of medical problems that we are talking about, diabetes, high blood pressure, heart disease, kidney disease, today is also World Kidney Day, cancers, and all of those things were considered problems of old age. But what has changed is we are now seeing a lot of those, including mental health, which has which has implication for all this also. So they are not problems of old age anymore. They are problems that are happening in young people now. So these are the young people who are walking into a pregnancy, and they may not be that young. Women are waiting till their late 20s, 30s, even early 40s to start their family. So by this time, some of these health issues have already, the seeds have been sown in them, or these problems have started to rise. So that is one thing. So because of that, during pregnancy, we are seeing a lot of problems. What can we do about that? First thing is our young people, meaning young women who are in their teens and 20s and 30s, who are planning a pregnancy well ahead of time, should get their health in order, what we call preconception care. So that is very, very important. In world over and in our country, they say that 50% of women only plan their pregnancy. The other 50% of pregnancies they just happen. But the truth is, even this 50% of people who have planned the pregnancy have really only planned to get pregnant. They've not really planned their health. They've not taken, they've not checked their health out before getting pregnant. So really a big chunk of people don't know their health condition before they get pregnant. It could be anemia. Maybe they've not got all the vaccinations. Maybe they have diabetes or pre-diabetes. Maybe they have a thyroid issue, or their vitamin D is low, or something is, or they have stress and mental health issues. All that has to be made all right before walking into a pregnancy, at which time they'll have less complications and they'll come out with healthier themselves. They will be healthy and the baby will be healthy. Now, once the other thing, Shalini, is we look at pregnancy as, okay, you have a healthy baby and that's the price. After that, what happens to the mother is not in the radar of anyone, not the mother, not the family, not the gynecologist, not the doctor. We're all happy she's had a good baby, healthy baby, and we forget about the mom. So all these problems of the pregnancy she has had or other health issues are all still there and brewing. And for the next pregnancy, she may have the same thing. And also, there is a new concept about which we are all working, is pregnancy is the window to future chronic disease. Meaning, if a woman has a health issue during a pregnancy, it could be sugar, it could be BP, it could be having a small baby, it could be having a preterm delivery, it could be miscarriages, any of those things, she is at risk for future heart disease or other chronic diseases. Whereas a person who has absolutely healthy pregnancy, less chance of these complications in the future. So I absolutely agree with you. While pregnancy is very, very important, how we take her into the pregnancy and how we follow her after that, and what she does for her health is equally or more important.
Absolutely, ma'am. I think so. It is very important that right from a little girl till somebody who's, growing up all through different phases of life, I think a woman undergoes so many hormonal changes. एक लेडी जब एक छोटी सी बच्ची से जब वो एक मेनार्क में पहुंचती है, पीरियड्स शुरू होते हैं, बॉडी में हार्मोनल चेंजेस हो रहे हैं, बहुत सारे और सोसाइटी में चेंजेस हैं. तो धीरे धीरे हर इशू पे हमें फोकस करना है और हर पॉइंट पे हमें फोकस करना है, सो दैट हम एक हेल्थ, सिर्फ एक वुमन की जब हम बात करते हैं तो एक छोटी बच्ची से लेके एक एल्डरली लेडी तक सबकी हेल्थ इंपॉर्टेंट है. वन मोर इंपॉर्टेंट नेग्लेक्टेड एरिया ऑफ वुमेन्स हेल्थ इज बोन हेल्थ. बिकॉज बोन हेल्थ, हम वी ऑलवेज परसीव कि अच्छा छोटी बच्ची है, उसे बीमारी, सर्दी खांसी जुकाम नहीं होना चाहिए, सो वी आर लुकिंग आफ्टर हर. अगर वो मोटी हो रही है, चलिए हम उसे कहेंगे अपना वेट का ध्यान रखे. Once she is pregnant, we look after her during the pregnancy. Once the baby is born, all of us tend to gain weight and we don't want to lose that weight, or it is sometimes difficult to lose that weight. मीनोपॉज के बाद एक बहुत बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट चीज जो हमने देखी है वो है ऑस्टियोपोरोसिस, और ये अब तो यंग विमेन में भी हम देख रहे हैं. तो डॉक्टर बीना, यहाँ पे आई वुड लाइक टू ब्रिंग यू इन एंड आस्क यू, बोन हेल्थ पे हमें कब ध्यान देना है, और हमें कुछ सिंपल टिप्स दो फॉर ऑल द ऑडियंस हु इज ट्यून्ड इन कि हमें अपनी बोन हेल्थ का कैसे ख्याल रखना है. क्योंकि बुढ़ापे में अक्सर क्या होता है ना, जरा सी पैर मुड़ा और हड्डी चटक जाती है, फ्रैक्चर्स हो जाते हैं. और उसका कारण क्या है? क्योंकि हमने अपने अर्ली डेज में अपनी बोन हेल्थ का ध्यान नहीं रखा, तो हमारी हड्डियां बिल्कुल वीक हो गई. तो उसको प्रिवेंट करने के लिए हमें क्या करना चाहिए?
मेरे पास 5 मिनट है ना बोलने के लिए. हड्डियां हमें दिखती नहीं है, हम सोचते हैं कि हड्डी कोई इनर्ट सा स्ट्रक्चर है, पर एक्चुअली बोन्स बहुत एक्टिव ऑर्गन्स हैं जो बॉडी में बहुत सारे काम करते हैं. डेफिनेटली बॉडी को एक स्ट्रक्चर, ढांचा देने में उनका एक इम्पॉर्टेंट रोल है. और उस तरह से मैं अगर एनालॉजी करूं तो ये एक बिल्डिंग का एक स्ट्रक्चर है. अगर वही अंदर से वीक होगा तो आगे कैसे काम चलेगा. तो यूजुअली 60-65 के बाद जाके, स्पेशली फीमेल्स में, स्पेशली औरतों में, फ्रैक्चर रीढ़ का और कूल्हे का खासकर, इसके चांसेस बहुत बढ़ जाते हैं. एक बार फ्रैक्चर होता है, अगर कूल्हे का फ्रैक्चर है तो 1 साल के अंदर 4 में से 1 वुमेन जिनको फ्रैक्चर हुआ है उनकी डेथ हो जाती है. फ्रैक्चर इज समटाइम्स द टर्मिनल इवेंट, वेरी ऑफन द टर्मिनल इवेंट आफ्टर 75. उसके बाद कॉम्प्लिकेशंस भी बहुत सारे आते हैं. स्पाइन फ्रैक्चर कैन बी वेरी डेबिलिटेटिंग. जो दर्द होता है रीढ़ में हड्डी होने की वजह से, क्रॉनिक कांस्टेंट पेन, जो बहुत मुश्किल है इलाज करना. और एक फ्रैक्चर होने से दूसरा और तीसरा फ्रैक्चर होने की भी संभावना बढ़ जाती है. अनफॉर्चुनेटली लोगों को लगता है ये बुढ़ापे की परेशानी है और इसके लिए हम कुछ नहीं कर सकते. तो हड्डियों की सेहत हमारे हाथ में है. ये फ्रैक्चर्स प्रिवेंटेबल है, इन फ्रैक्चर्स से हम बच सकते हैं. नंबर 1, हड्डियां जो है धीरे धीरे ग्रो करती हैं और एक पीक बोन मास, हड्डियों की सबसे मैक्सिमम स्ट्रेंथ जो है वो 25 से 30 साल की एज में आ जाती है. फिर वो 50 साल, जब तक मीनोपॉज नहीं होता, वो एक कांस्टेंट लेवल पे रहता है. और उसके बाद धीरे धीरे बोन डेंसिटी कम होनी शुरू होती है. डेंसिटी कम होने का मतलब उसमें चेंजेस आते हैं, उसका कोलाजन स्ट्रक्चर चेंज होता है, और धीरे धीरे अगर ध्यान नहीं दें तो उसमें गैप्स बनने लगेंगे और वो वजन सपोर्ट करने के लायक नहीं रहेगी. तो पहला चीज ये है कि हड्डियां अच्छी डेवलप हो, पीक बोन मास अच्छा हो. इसके लिए जरूरी है रेगुलर एक्सरसाइज, क्योंकि जब हमारे हड्डियों पे इम्पैक्ट पड़ता है तो हड्डियां स्ट्रांग बनती हैं. और सही खाना पीना, ताकि कैल्शियम और विटामिन डी मिलके बोन्स का स्ट्रक्चर स्ट्रांग बना पाए. प्रोटीन, तो खाने में बचपन से ही ध्यान देना है. स्पेशली एडोलेसेंट गर्ल्स में आपको डाइटिंग करने की बिल्कुल जरूरत नहीं है, बिकॉज इस समय प्रोटीन, फल, सब्जियां और कैल्शियम के बाकी सोर्सेस और विटामिन डी बहुत जरूरी है. और रेगुलर खेलना बहुत जरूरी है. एक्सरसाइज बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है इसके लिए. पूरी लाइफ भी हमें ध्यान देना है. प्रेगनेंसी और लैक्टेशन के टाइम भी बहुत सारा कैल्शियम लॉस हो सकता है, तो उस समय भी न्यूट्रिशन बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है. और पीरियड्स बंद होने के बाद खासकर हमें हार्ट और बोन्स दोनों पे एकदम से फोकस लाना है. और उसका तरीका एक ही है, खाना खूब सारी सब्जी, खूब सारा फल, दाल और प्रोटीन के और अच्छे सोर्सेस का इस्तेमाल, रेगुलर एक्सरसाइज, सिंपल बेसिक वॉकिंग एवरी डे, जिससे मसल्स और बोन स्ट्रांग रहे और हार्ट की बीमारी होने से और फ्रैक्चर होने से हम बच सकें. अगर किसी को फ्रैक्चर हुआ है, अभी भी देर नहीं हुई है, आगे फ्रैक्चर ना हो, क्योंकि उसकी संभावना बहुत ज्यादा है. ऑलरेडी अगर किसी को कूल्हे का या स्पाइन का फ्रैक्चर है तो कैल्शियम विटामिन डी केवल लेने से काम नहीं बनेगा. फ्रैक्चर प्रिवेंशन की स्पेसिफिक दवाइयां होती हैं, ऑस्टियोपोरोसिस की दवाइयां होती हैं, जिन्हें 2 से 3 से 5 से 10 साल लेने की जरूरत पड़ती है, क्योंकि बोन्स धीरे धीरे डेवलप होते हैं. इनके बारे में एंडोक्रिनोलॉजिस्ट से जाके जरूर मिले. फ्रैक्चर तो आपका ऑर्थोपेडिशियन ने ठीक कर दिया, पर फ्रैक्चर प्रिवेंशन के लिए एंडोक्रिनोलॉजिस्ट और हार्मोन के डॉक्टर से मिलने की जरूरत है, क्योंकि हार्मोन्स बोन्स को स्ट्रांग रखने के लिए भी जरूरी है.
एब्सोल्युटली। लिली मैम, यहाँ पे मैं आपको बुलाना चाहूंगी. We always say there are a lot of challenges when a woman is diagnosed with diabetes, you know. And so what do you think are the important challenges that a woman, when she's diagnosed with diabetes, has to face, and how can she live a healthy life with her diabetes? Some basic tips that you would like to give to all the women who are, either type 2 diabetic or type 1 diabetic. मे बी वो टैबलेट्स खाते हैं, मे बी वो इंसुलिन लेते हैं. बेसिक टिप्स फॉर अ वुमन, उसको क्या क्या प्रॉब्लम्स आ सकते हैं, कॉम्प्लिकेशंस क्या आ सकते हैं अगर शुगर कंट्रोल नहीं रहता है, और सम बेसिक टिप्स हमें क्या करना चाहिए. यू आर म्यूटेड मैम.
Thank you, Dr. Shalini. That is a wonderful question, and that is one of the most important questions that you have asked for today's discussion. Um, is a woman at different stages. If you take a girl child getting diabetes for the first time, like type 1 diabetes, you can understand the trauma that the entire family goes through. So there is a lot of, again, mental health that is to be taken care. Other than that, a woman, girl child becoming adolescent, and a young woman who has to get married into another family. So that is another very, very big issue. And उस टाइम अगर बराबर काउंसलिंग नहीं करे तो ये गर्ल चाइल्ड की मेंटल हेल्थ बहुत खराब हो सकती है. तो उसकी वजह से उसका शुगर्स भी अनकंट्रोल्ड होते हैं, ठीक से इंजेक्शंस नहीं लेते. फॉर एग्जांपल, I had a type 1 adolescent girl the other day, and then she's a college going girl for the first year of college. Then her brother and parents came back to me and said that they want only twice a day injections, and afternoon they requested the college principal and the class teacher to send her home for lunch, because her afternoon insulin, they don't want to take it to the school and give, they want to come back and take it. So this is how, even the treatment gets impaired or altered, and therefore their control also gets haywire. Then coming to the woman who is already married and then gets diabetes, she also undergoes, first of all, a very big depressive stage, and then after the depression, once she understands that she has to live with it, there is a lot of reluctance from the sometimes the woman herself doesn't accept that she has to be diabetic for life. And then maybe there is some problem from the rest of the family members to support her. There may be, she may not be an earning member in the family, so she has a fear that she becomes a burden to the rest of the family because of the expenses that are involved. And then when it comes to control of blood sugar and follow-up of blood sugar, see, we always tell that, periodically you need to check certain other things to rule
Absolutely.
out the complications of diabetes. And when it comes to that, money is involved. And then, she has to sometimes beg and borrow money and get it done. Otherwise, she doesn't get it done at all. So these are specific problems that a woman faces in order to keep her blood sugar under control. Even if she knows how to do it, it sometimes becomes difficult for her.
Absolutely.
Yes.
So I think when we talk about women's health, and especially for women with diabetes, there are a lot of challenges that they face, and the whole idea is to actually look at these challenges and try and help break those barriers, break that bias, and make them reach out for help. And that is the purpose with which this RSSDI Diabetes and Women Task Force was formed. Dr. Usha, I would just like to bring you in before we wind up to just give us a small overview of the work that the task force wants to do in terms of reaching out to the woman out there who comes to us in the OPD or who's out in the society. What exactly do we see this task force aiming for, And what exactly do you think will help if we want to reach out and help our women with diabetes face these challenges? Ma'am, you're muted.
Mute myself. So, first thing is, for a long time, we have thought that diabetes is the same in men and women, and it is not. And that we have learned, somewhat more recently, and that's a very important learning. We have found out that diabetes in women is very different, um, much more complications, and more women die of diabetes every year than men, even though about equal numbers have diabetes, men and women. So, what RSSDI task force wants to do is at the patient level, we want to empower and educate all the women who have diabetes and pre-diabetes. Yes, your diabetes is different, and it has more challenges. The same complications, whether it's heart disease or kidney disease or fractures or cancer or depression, is more complicated in women, more severe. So we want to give them then the ways to not get into these complications, or how to manage their diabetes better so they don't get into develop complications. So that is the first thing. So uh, empowering and educating the women with diabetes is very an important task that we want to do through educational programs like this. And next thing is, we also want to study what is the experience of diabetes, and what is different about diabetes in our women. See, there is a lot of research that's published from other parts of the world, but we want to know about Indian women. And so we are going to be doing some research projects looking at these complications, looking at pregnancy and diabetes, looking at postpartum, post-pregnancy care. How can we prevent diabetes? All of this in our community, we are going to do research. And then what we want to do is actually help our doctors and the frontline health workers, ASHA workers and nurses, who take care of women with diabetes and during pregnancy. How can they take better care of them? So we're going to develop some education material for the doctors and the frontline health workers also. So it is going to be a multi-pronged approach, and so that in the next few years, I really think that India will be in a leadership position in this whole area.
Absolutely. I think that's a very positive note to end this panel. I know we can keep talking, going on and on, but I can see Dr. Faraz there. So I think it's time up for us. And Faraz, it's all yours. Thank you so much.
Yeah,
Thank you.
thank you, Shalini. I would say it was really entertaining and enlightening as well. If I had to put the third E, from education, empowerment, and enlightenment as well. So thank you all for sharing, I would say, your valuable insights, taking out time. I know all of you have been very, very busy. Here. So at the end, let me thank the task force, women's, particularly the task force team, which is doing a marvelous job. I would say keep on doing the great work which you people are doing, and we all are with you. Thank you so much, and see you all in next episode of Diabetes Bytes. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, everyone.